Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel, and this is your tip of the week. In a past shopping haul, I showed you that I bought this applique pressing sheet, and I've been working with it, and I actually find it quite helpful when doing certain types of applique. So it has instructions on the back, and they show you all kinds of other little tools. It's a pretty good size sheet, so you could do a large applique design on this. It's very smooth on both sides, and it doesn't really matter which side you put your applique pieces. When you open it up, it actually has this pattern included in it that you could use to practice with. So this is what the design is supposed to look like when you're done. Down here are two circle yo-yo pieces to help make the flowers, but then on the back it has all of the other pieces. Now, if you cut out your pieces on the back, you lose your placement pattern on the front. So you need to make a copy of this and then use that copy to use it to cut out your fabric pieces. Now, I'm not going to demonstrate the entire pattern because that would take quite a long time. That would be a separate tutorial on it, all on its own. But I just want to give you a summary of how it works. So I cut out all the pieces for the birdhouse. So cut out the white paper is the actual pattern piece. Then I traced it onto fusible webbing, and this comes on, I believe it's 9 by 12 inch sheets of paper. I usually use the product by Pellon called Easy Steam 2. So you follow the instructions on that to get your pieces of fabric with it on there so that you'll be able to fuse it to your fabric. When you're looking at the pattern sheet, you will notice that there's little dash lines here, and then at the top of the pole. That means that that piece of the fabric goes underneath the other piece of fabric. So this one is underneath the roof and the little floor of the birdhouse. And this, the pole, is underneath the floor of the birdhouse. So you would take your pressing sheet and lay it on top. Now, remember, you're going to be doing all of this. If you were going to do this entire pattern, this is just one part. I'm only going to do this part. So now I'm going to start laying my pieces down. So what you would do is you would remove the paper off of the back, and when you lay it down, it'll stick a little bit to this pressing sheet. So once you remove the paper off of the back of your fabric pieces, it's sticky on the bottom then, place it right over the design that you see. Then I placed the main part of the birdhouse next. Then the roof would go on, and it actually overlaps the birdhouse itself. And then the bottom of the birdhouse, let me get this piece off, goes right over the top of the pole and the bottom of the birdhouse. And then what you would do next is you would take a warm iron, and you can use just one of those little small irons. I wouldn't use a great big giant iron. And all you want to do is just press over the edges where it overlaps. And then you would continue the rest of your design. Then you would lift this off and place it on your background fabric. After you've got it onto your background fabric, then you would go ahead and permanently fuse it to the fabric following your applique webbing instructions. There's always instructions on the back of the package. Now, do I recommend that pressing sheet? Yes and no. It depends on the type of applique projects you do. Generally, I just do little ones like this, so it's not really necessary, in my opinion, to use the pressing sheet. I just go ahead and lay my design right onto my background fabric and center it and get it all pressed on. Here's another one that I do. But if you're doing those elaborate designs, like I showed you the pattern of the angel and the birdhouse and the flowers, then I highly recommend it because it's much easier to get everything centered and put together, and you can lift it all off and lay it on to your background fabric. So if you love doing a lot of applique fabric designs, then I highly recommend you get that. Now, don't forget, one really good way to store this pressing sheet is to roll it up and stick it inside a tube of paper that came from your paper towel holders. This way, it's easy to place on your shelf. And also, remember that doing applique this way is not the only way. Remember how I said I like to place mine directly onto fabric only if it's a small design like this. Now, I hope you really enjoyed this tip of the week and that you learned something new about getting your fabric pieces placed and ready to be stitched onto your background fabric. Now, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and check out my Facebook page. Don't forget, there's other links down below your YouTube screen that you can click on. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl, this is Manny, and this is Scotty. See you next time.